Alright, hey guys, Aviation 1881 here, making an update video. This one's not so much an update video on a specific airport. It's going to be just kind of a quick overview on both my airports. I am also not using a tripod right now, so my video is going to be a little bit shakier than normal, so I hope you guys don't mind that. Right now, I don't really have too many plans for new models. As you can see, here's my Windsor Airport. There's quite a few models on the airport. Obviously, I do want more, but right now I think I'm going to cut back on buying more. I was ordering like 3 or 4 models a month for the past couple months there, and I'm sure all of you know that planes aren't the cheapest thing in the world. So right now I'm actually content where I'm at with my models. The only thing I'm going to really be focusing on is my airport, in terms of trying to find an airport foil, which I have found one. I just need to save up money for it. Then setting up the gates and getting a taxiway and runway and all that stuff. That's kind of that. There are certainly a couple more heavies I want, but my airport is kind of crowded with heavies right now. On my airport itself right now, like what's on here, there's about 11 or 12 heavies, sorry about that. And then there are like 4 or 5 more heavies that are either at my Seattle airport or on display, so I won't be able to fit all my heavy aircraft on here, which is not a bad thing because not all the heavies are at my airport at one time. I just like to have a nice variety on display. And I love to have the different airlines like Singapore, Turkish, KLM, Etihad, British Airways and stuff. 2 airlines I did really want to get would be, well, 3 actually. One is the Lufthansa A340-600. I know Phoenix Models has one, but that is in the Star Alliance livery. And I really want a plane. If it's going to be Lufthansa, I want it in its regular livery. So the Star Alliance one, it is nice, but it's not the Lufthansa plane I super duper want. And that would cost me like around $60 to buy that and have it shipped and stuff. And then I'm also wanting a Japan Airlines JAL 777-300ER, but I don't think I'm going to be rushing that one too much because I have 3 or 4 planes doing flights to the Asia Pacific area. And then there's the Virgin Atlantic A340-600 by Phoenix Models, or Gemini jets. I prefer Phoenix Models for my A340s, but even there I have 2 767s doing flights to London Heathrow, so I don't really think I'll be getting that. I want to focus more on my smaller aircraft in terms of my regional prop planes. Sorry, I'm trying to speak a bit quick here and then losing my wording. And then also small Bombardier CRJs and E170s and such. A few more 737s, A320s, A319s for different airlines. Like Delta, I want to add some more smaller Delta aircraft like the 737-900 and the A320 are 2 that I'm thinking of getting. Probably will not be getting that. One more thing I am also focusing on right now is cargo. So if I was going to get planes, it would definitely be, I want at least 1 FedEx 777 and maybe 1 FedEx ATR 72. My airport is like 4 hours by driving from Toronto Pearson, and they do have a FedEx facility at that airport. So I may end up just getting a FedEx ATR 72, which will run between my airport and Toronto Pearson. And if I truly, really, really want a larger FedEx aircraft, I'll definitely get the 777-200 LF, I believe. And that would basically be it for my airport. Speaking of cargo aircraft, I have 1 military cargo plane coming to my airport, and it's going to be a NATO C-17. I did want to get a Canadian Forces C-17, but those models are really hard to find, so I figured NATO is good enough since Canada is in NATO. And I would have an American cargo plane on my airport, but since it's in Canada, it wouldn't quite make sense. And I do have one C5 Galaxy, which I may put on my airport periodically beside the NATO C-17. So that is basically it for my Windsor airport. I'm gonna close the lens and then kind of pop over to Seattle. Here's my Seattle-Tacoma airport. Not too much has changed, except here we have a Korean Air 777-200ER, which will be going to Seoul, South Korea. And I ordered a JetBlue A320, which will be doing my Seattle to Boston route. I am considering a JetBlue, another one for my Seattle, New York JFK route, but since I do want to hold back on buying a bunch of models, I will probably just stick with my one JetBlue for a month or so. Once I save up a bit more money, I will order another one. I still am planning on getting some Alaska Airlines 737s. The Salmon 30 Salmon is still on the wish list, as well as some more Dash 8s for Horizon and Alaska Airlines. And other than that, once I get a few more models, I'll probably be content with where my Seattle-Tacoma airport is at. I will be considering a Cargolux 747-8 freighter for my Seattle airport. That is still in the thought process right now. But like I said, I'm slowing down on the models I get, so I won't be adding too much onto my airports all at one time. It'll be more spread out over time. During summer vacation, which will be coming up really soon, this is my last year of high school, so I'll be looking forward to that, having a bit more time to do updates and stuff for my airports, make better videos, and some flight simulator videos too. But like I said, getting models will be kind of slow at this point. And I'll update you guys whenever I do get a model or am thinking about getting a model. You'll get separate updates for those, and then I'll make airport updates as I go. Just gonna give you a quick shot. But that is basically the update I had for today. I'll see you guys in my next update, which should be in a week, because that's probably around when I'll be getting my JetBlue A320 and my C-17. I'm assuming those two will be arriving around the same time. So like I said, I'll update you guys when I get those, and if you're following me on Instagram, you can see those updates, or you see the photos of the planes before I actually make an update on Instagram. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry this video isn't the most exciting, I just wanted to say a few things. And I will definitely see you guys in my next update video, and I hope you have a good day.